Well, Prince Fred was coming out of a strong race that had already produced 2 next out winners. Now that Batty King race has produced 3 next out winners as Prince Fred, much the best there in the final strides for trainer Brittany Russell. Nice ride there, Jeremy Rose. We get $8.80 there on Prince Fred, and we all have to just wait for Batty King to run back. I'm looking forward to Batty King running back. That was a strong win that he had June 10th, and Prince Fred proved it, winning today in the third. All right, I'm joined with Frank Vespe from the Racing Biz. Race 4, the Christiana kicks off the late pick 5. Some nice 3-year-olds today. Both the boys and the girls going long on the turf.
Yeah, really interested to see these 2 turf stakes here, Stan. I think particularly the Kent came up really interesting, but there's a couple of fun plays in this race too, I hope.
All right, I have a late pick 5. Late pick 5 starts right now with the Christiana in race 4, and it ends in race 8 with the Kent. Let's check out my ticket. It's a $56 play. I didn't spend much on the early pick 5, but I thought this late pick 5 was a little more challenging. I have the 2 favorites here in the Christiana. The one, Miss Riddler. I have the 6 on top in this race, so I go 1-6 here in the 4th. Race 5, I single on the Jamie Ness horse respectively. It's going to be the heavy favorite there in race 5. Race 6, the 9 and 11 are going to be maybe the favorites in there, but they have to overcome a 0-4 post position going long on the turf. So the 5 and the 6 might take advantage of the 9 and 11 not having the best post position. So I go 5, 6, 9, 11 there in race 6, 2, 5 in race 7. I hit the all button in the Kent, Frank. I think that race is wide open for 3-year-olds going 1 mile and 3/8 for the first time. So I think they're all 7 nice horses in there. I think all of them have a shot to win.
No, I think that's exactly right. I looked at that and I said, okay, the favorites need to be the favorites, but I think they might be a little vulnerable here, so maybe we can play around with some stuff. So I completely agree. That's a good race to take a swing.
All right, well, let's check out the Christiana $150,000 purse for 3-year-old fillies going 9 furlongs on the turf, rated soft. The 1, Miss Riddler, is your 9-5 morning line favorite. 3-1 right now for trainer Eddie Keneally. Declan Cannon in town to ride this filly by Dialed In. She gets a big 106 early time form rating. That was a nice wire-to-wire score coming off the layoff at Keeneland. Then they tried grade 3 company. She went to the front at Churchill going 9 furlongs. Got a little tired late, finished 4th, but still earned a 79 Beyer speed figure in a grade 3.
It was not a bad effort, and the horse that won that race, Mission of Joy, she's a horse that's going to appear in several running lines here of other runners as well. She's a 2-time Grade 3 winner now. Won the Grade 3 Florida Oaks back in March. That's the race. Number 2, Facciabella, was also in, finished 6th that day, 4.5 lengths back. Came back, made her first start at Delaware in June, but that was in a race that came off the turf onto the main track, so I think we can draw a line through that. I feel like this is a filly that's a little bit interesting. That race in the Florida Oaks was pretty good, hasn't quite gone forward from there, but if she does take a step forward, I think she can be there at a price.
All right, so 3-1 right now on the 2, Miss Riddler, the 2, Facciabella for trainer Kerry Raven, Angel Arroyo on this filly by Summerfront, who's a major league turf sire. This horse had a nice maiden special weight win at Tampa last February and then kind of tailed off form since then. Did run a good second against Allowance Company back in April at Tampa. They needed a few months off, and the race that came off the turf didn't go too well late June, but she gets back onto the turf today, but she finds herself in a real tough spot. She's 22-1 right now.
Yeah, she is, but again, I do feel like if she takes a step forward, she did break her maiden going 1 mile and 1/8, which this is. I think a couple of these have a little bit of question mark about that distance, and so I think this horse may outrun those really generous at the moment odds of 22-1.
All right, let's check out the 3 next. Gatita Saab for trainer Rudy Sanchez, Solomon, Kevin Gomez on this filly. This horse a big price right now, 24-1. That was an okay second last out. She rallied from off the pace, going 5.5 on the turf at Laurel. I was claiming 40,000 to life. She's stepping up in the deep waters today.
Very deep waters indeed, Stan. I agree with you. And I guess the strategy here probably has to be to go with a horse stretching out from 5.5. That may complicate things for Miss Riddler, the favorite in here. It's going to be a heavy lift for Gatita Suave, though.
All right, it's a big 24-1 there on the 3. The 4, 30 Thou Kelvin from the John Terranova barn. Jeremy Rose rides this filly by Bolta Oro. She ran okay last time in a grade 2, going 9 furlongs on the turf at Belmont. Only got beat 3.5 lengths up there. Got a 78 by her speed figure, so that kind of effort probably puts this filly right there in this group today.
Not a bad effort at all. She was wide on both turns, didn't really go on with it in the lane. I guess my one slight concern there is I felt like she maybe surrendered a little bit in the lane, but that was pretty good company. She really hasn't run badly at long odds in 3 straight races.
All right, so 5-2 there on the 4 with Jeremy Rose looking for his second win of the day. The 5, Sabalenka from the D. Whitworth Beckman stable. Sheldon Russell on this 3-year-old filly by Good Samaritan. She had a nice win against Allowance Company last November as a 2-year-old at Churchill. Wire-to-wire score that day with a 68 buyer. They gave her the winner off, and the spring campaign was very tough. A couple grade 2s in Kentucky, and then most recently a grade 3 in the regret at Churchill. She didn't run too well that day. She's going to have to try to get back in good form against this group today. She's 3-1 right now.
Her 3 tries beyond a mile, she's 0 for 3, which I guess is a question here. She's going to want some pace to develop if she's going to be coming from as far back as she has the last couple times. But as we just talked about with the one horse who has speed and then Gatita Suave stretching out, she might get a little bit of a pace to run at.
All right, she gets a 109 late time form rating. The 5, the 6, Hang the Moon, gets a 103 late time form rating. This is my top pick, an Uncle Mo filly for Michael Stidham. The barn sitting at 24%. You get the leading rider, Daniel Centeno. This horse has run 3 big races on the turf. That was a nice win at the fairgrounds last January, coming from off the pace. Ran big in that stake race at the fairgrounds March 11th. Just got beat less than 2 lengths that day and had a few months off. The comeback race in the Hilltop Black-Eyed Susan Day at Pimlico rallied from far back that day to finish a good third, beating less than 3 lengths. 82 buyer speed figure. That sets her up for a big effort today.
Yeah, I think this horse has done nothing wrong in 3 turf tries, and every reason to think she should be in the mix here. She should be rallying from off it and has a chance to run into it here.
All right, so 8-5 on the 6, Hang the Moon. That's my top pick here. I go 6-1, 5-4 here in the Christiana. You have the 1 on top, right, Frank?
Joe, who does our picks for the RacingBiz.com, goes 1, 6, 2, and 4 in this spot.
All right, riders up 4, race 4. Nice stake for $150,000 for 3-year-old fillies. We kick off the late pick 5 right now. We're 6 minutes out. Good luck.